1. Creation, Science, or Fiction? Day 3, Dry Land. Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Myers, and today we're coming to Day 3 of creation in Genesis 1, talking about the dry land. And God, in Genesis chapter 1, 9 through 10, says, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. So here we have God gathering the waters together, and dry land appears. And on the right here we have one of the most ancient maps of the world, the Babylonian map of the world it's called, where the earth is a round, flat circle surrounded by a sea. It's called bitter waters. It's the salt in the sea making it bitter here. And it surrounds the earth. So you have the circle of the sea and the circle of the earth. This is one of the most ancient maps here. And we think something similar here, where the waters are gathered together in one place, and then dry land appears, and it lifts up, the dry land is lifted up, and the valleys are formed. Now the word circle in Hebrew is hug, and it's used a number of different times. There's the circle of the earth in Isaiah 40 verse 22. He sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and this is probably referring to the dome of the earth. A lot of translations translate it the dome of the earth, because he's way up high on the top, looking down and sees the people like little grasshoppers. Then we have the circle of the heavens in Job 22:14, and he walketh in the circuit of the heaven. And then there's the circle of the seas in Job 26:10. He hath compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. Then there's the circle of the winds. Ecclesiastes 1:6 states, "The wind goeth forth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits." And here on the right, we can see from ancient Egypt, from King Tut's tomb, there's the upper and lower oceans. We have here the ocean encircling the earth, and then the heavens, another heavenly ocean circling the land there. Now, Josephus, in his Jewish Antiquities, writes, "On the third day he established the earth, pouring around it the sea." Because sea is singular, some think that Josephus is referring to the earth encircling ocean. And Homer, he believed that the earth was a flat disk surrounded by a circular sea. Achilles' shield was a picture of a circular earth surrounded by the circular sea. This is in the Iliad book 18. And here we have a picture of it here, not the original, but drawn by Angelo. And the outer rim of Achilles' shield is described as, "Therein he set also the great might of the river Oceanus, around the uttermost part of the rim, the strongly wrought shield." And so they called it Oceanus, located at the ends of the earth, surrounding the circular earth. There is an unfinished Kadura from Susa, which is it's a boundary stone from the 12th century BC. And there are two horned serpents, one at the bottom. You can see here this very plainly. The one at the top you can't see as well. And they're supposed to symbolize the upper and lower oceans. And then there's a fortress which rests on the lower serpent here. There's the fort here. And then we have the towers. And these towers are the pillars or foundations of the earth. They're holding up the earth here. And that's how they saw it in ancient times. And cliff note Psalm 18, verse 8. The second right here, this is the earth that it's holding up. And then, and it shows the worship of the gods. While the top section here, this is the heavens, where you have symbols of the gods represented by constellations here. And you can get more information. There's the book here called Creation by Keel. And he gives more information about this boundary stone, as well as his first book here, Symbolism of the Biblical World. So these are good books that gives you a lot of drawings and information. Here in Psalm 104, we have another creation hymn, and so we get another a little bit different view of creation by the psalmist. It says, "Blessed the Lord be the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain or a tent, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariots, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers, a flaming fire, who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment, and the waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled, and the voice of thy thunder they hastened away. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys into the place where thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth." There's several things I want to point about this Psalm of creation here. It says, "Who covers thyself with light as a garment." So God's royal robe is light. And this is referring to day one there of creation, where he creates light. Let there be light. Then in day two of creation, he stretches out the heavens like a curtain. Some translate it as a tent. And then who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters. So here he stretches out the heavens, and this is a solid firmament, and he builds in his chambers, puts beams there in the water to make his chambers or palace with a number of different rooms. And it talks about the storehouses where the wind and the rain is. And it says he maketh the clouds his chariot, and who walketh upon the wings of the wind. And then accompanying him are the angels. So here we have the angels here created either it's on day 1 or 2 here. In this order, it's on day 2, where he creates the angels that you don't find in Genesis 1. And then it goes on to the day 3 here, who layeth the foundations of the earth, that it should not be moved forever. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment, and the water stood above the mountains. And then at thy rebuke they fled, and the voice of thy thunder. So here we have the earth is stretched out over the deep, and you have the foundations of the earth are the mountains, which go all the way under and can come up on the other side here and enclose the deep, and holds up the heavens, and that it should not be moved. They saw the earth as stationary, with the sun, moon, and stars revolving around the earth. And notice his voice, the thunder. They saw the thunder as God's voice, and it's like a battle cry, and the waters flee away. It was covering all the land here like a garment, and then he rebukes it, and they flee away to their appointed boundaries. In Amos 9, verses 5 and 6, it says, the Lord God of hosts, the one who touches the land so that it melts, and all those who dwell in it mourn. And all of it rises up like the Nile and subsides like the Nile of Egypt. The one who builds his upper chambers in the heavens and has founded his vaulted dome over the earth. He who calls for the waters of the sea and pours them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord is his name. And that's the NASB version. Notice it mentions the Nile Delta here. And in Egypt, they saw creation as the flood, the water, everything covered with waters. Just like the flood, it would flood every year. And when the water subsides, you have all this new soil, rich soil that was great for farming. And they depended on that. So if the floods were just right, they would have an abundant harvest. And if it was low flooding, then there would be famine. If it was too much, it would destroy everything. So if it's just right, the flood waters would leave the fertile earth. And this may be something like in Genesis 1 here, that the waters recede and you see the fertile land of the earth. Then it says, one who builds his upper chambers in the heavens. So here again, it's like a building is palace with a number of chambers. And then he founds the vaulted dome over the earth. The firmament is a dome over the earth. And he calls forth the waters of the sea to pour out on the face of the earth. Now some think it was from these chambers up in the firmament that had lots of water, and others in other verses it shows that the clouds are like bottles, wineskin bottles that you see on the horizon. They pick up the water from the sea and then bring it over the land and dump it on the land, and that it was the clouds were carrying the water. In other verses about creation, it tells us the earth is stretched out over the watery deep there in Genesis 1:2. Psalm 136:6 says, "To him that stretcheth out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever." Psalm 24:2, "For he hath founded it," that's the earth, "upon the seas and established it upon the floods." These are all the chaotic waters there in Genesis. In Job 26:7, it says, "He spreads out the northern sky over the empty place," that'd be the formlessness. "He suspends the earth over nothing," the void. And I think this is referring to Genesis 1:2. So the heavens are also stretched out over the formlessness in verse 2 of Genesis 1. And then he also stretches out and suspends the earth over the void there in Genesis 1 verse 2. And you have the formlessness and void, tohu wavohu. And I think that's what this is referring to. It's not referring to the earth suspended in outer space, but it's talking about the formlessness and void in Genesis 1. That he's spreading out the heavens and also spreading out the earth. And this is similar to the Babylonian story of creation. You have Enuma Elish, and you have a picture here of Marduk fighting Tiamat, the monster, the sea monster. And he kills her, he splits her in two, and he stretches her out to make the heavens. And he, the one half, and then the other half he stretches out to make the earth. And then the eyes are the Tigris and Euphrates from which the water flows for those rivers. Then we have the pillars of the earth that are mentioned in the Bible. In Job chapter 9 verse 6 it says, "Which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble." So we have the pillars of the earth. And then in Psalm 75:3 it says, "The earth and all who inhabit it are unsteady. It is I who have firmly set its pillars." Selah. Then in 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 8 at the end it says, "For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them." The Hebrew word here in 1 Samuel, the root word for it means to melt, and means a molten-like pillar. And the only other place it occurs is in 1 Samuel 14:5, referring to the high rock or mountain. So I think that the pillars of the earth, the same thing as the foundations of the earth, which were the mountains that held up the earth and supported the heavens, the dome of the firmament. Then in Genesis chapter 1, verse 11 and 13, this is still day 3, "And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, and herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good, and it was evening, and the morning were the third day." Notice it says evening and morning. So in the biblical times, the day started in the evening. And then you have the morning. We start the day in the morning, but they started the day in the evening, and then the morning comes. Just like in creation, you have the darkness, and then the dawn of day comes. Then also notice it says, "Let the earth bring forth grass." the earth. It doesn't say God does not directly create the grass or the fruit trees. It says, let the earth bring forth the grass and the herb and the fruit trees. Here we have an overview of creation. And a lot of people divide it into two parts. You have the forming of the space, and then the filling of the space. So in day one, you have the light. You have day two, the firmament is created. Then you have the dry land, and then the plants. And then you have the filling of the firmament with the sun, moon, and stars on day 4. And then you have in day 5, the birds fill the firmament and the waters below. And day 6, the animals and mankind are created to fill the dry land. So you have first the space forming, and then the filling of that space with the different animals. And finally, at the pinnacle of creation, you have mankind. So this is a quick summary of creation. We now come to the end of here of day 3, the creation, and let me know what you think about this. And you can get more information. I have written a Bible and Science paper, Genesis 1 and its ancient context, and these are available for free at academia.edu. Other writings are also posted there that you can see for yourself. And don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, website. You can go to bibleandscience.com and get a lot more information there as well. And I want to thank you for coming and listening to the video, and let me know what you think.